You so much, everyone, for attending. For anyone who hasn't seen PowerGP Online, we are super excited to show it to you. There's a ton of stuff, so like sit back, get ready to be completely full this hour with information. My name is Brittany Lorente. I am the channel sales manager here at Njevity. In the process of joining PowerGP Online, you will more than likely work very closely with me and the folks over at TM Group. We're going to introduce the presenters, which is me, and then Chris, and then we're going to kind of talk about why Njevity, what Njevity is, and then move into PowerGP Online. So I'm going to hand this over to our CEO here at Njevity, Chris Dobkin.
Well, thanks, Brittany, and Ali, thanks to you as well for putting this on. And TM Group is one of our closest partners, and we're just thrilled to have the opportunity to talk to some of TM Group's customers. And so welcome. Thank you all for being here. I'm probably going to be talking fairly fast as we go. We've got a lot of content that I want to cover with you today about PowerGP Online and why it's the smart path for Dynamics GP customers to move to the cloud. I have been working with Dynamics GP since 1995. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but when I started with Dynamics GP, it was shipped on a stack of floppy disks. It took almost all day to install, on a workstation. And today, with some of the innovations that we've made in the cloud, we have 2 editions of PowerGP Online where we can create a brand new environment in about 7 minutes. It's just amazing to me, the pace and the power of technology. Our mission at Njevity is to improve the life and success of our partners and customers by providing exceptional business application experiences that simplify, inform, and delight. This is why we exist at Njevity, why we come to work every day. And I hope that as we go through this next hour together, that you'll see this mission in the things that we've done with PowerGP Online to make your cloud experience the best that it can possibly be. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, really kind of 2 big bullet points. One, we're going to start with why we believe PowerGP Online is the smart path to the cloud for customers that are running on Dynamics GP. Then we're going to talk about what makes PowerGP Online different from hosting environments for Dynamics GP or putting GP in Azure. Why is PowerGP Online different? So we're going to spend some time talking about that. And if I talk fast enough and demo fast enough, we'll have time for questions at the end. I have time after this, so if we need to stay on a little long to make sure we get your questions answered, I am happy to do that. We say that PowerGP Online is the smart path to the cloud for Dynamics GP customers. And why is that? With PowerGP Online, we can take your existing Dynamics GP environment, wherever it is, whether it's on servers that are on your premises or they're on virtual servers in Azure or in another cloud environment, we can take your Dynamics GP system and basically just move it into our cloud. That allows us to get you into the cloud on your Dynamics GP system in days, not months. And there's no expensive, time-consuming implementation project. You don't have to change accounting software to go to the cloud. We can just take your GP system, put it into PowerGP Online, all your data, all your ISVs, all your functionality and your processes and your integrations. Plus, when we bring it into our cloud, we light up all of the cool things about PowerGP Online that make it unique. And you immediately get the benefit of our world-class security and ransomware protection. It is by far the fastest, least expensive, least amount of friction way for you to get your Dynamics GP system into the cloud. And when we built PowerGP Online, we really started with 3 pillars: unique, flexible, and secure. So unique, we're going to spend a lot of time on unique today. We've developed several additional applications for PowerGP Online that are not available anywhere else. We call this our PowerGP Power Suite. And 2 of the items in the Power Suite are PowerGP Banking and PowerGP Import. And These are applications that you won't find anywhere else in the world other than in PowerGP Online. And PowerGP Banking is really cool. I'm going to demo it for you in a few minutes, but this just lets you, with a couple of mouse clicks, connect to your bank and start downloading transactions from your bank and matching them to stuff that you've already entered in GP. PowerGP Import is an integration manager alternative that's embedded in the user experience of Dynamics GP. And then we've got some other things we're going to be talking about as well. PowerGP Online is unique. It is completely different than any other GP. It's got the familiarity of GP. It looks just like GP, as you'll see in a minute, but it's also got all the other cool stuff that we've put into it. Flexible. We support all the ISV solutions in the Dynamics GP ecosystem. We also built we call it PowerGP Connect, which is an API that wraps around the whole PowerGP Online system to make it really easy for you to quickly integrate with other cloud solutions. So if you want to integrate with Power BI, if you want to integrate with Power Automate or PopDoc or Expensify, you can do that really easily with our API. It's designed to make those integrations with our cloud apps really, really good. And that expands now your solution set, right? You no longer have to only look for solutions within the large community of ISVs for GP. You can go out and look at all the cloud apps that are out there and really find the one that's best for your business and then make it work with PowerGP Online. And then, of course, security, super, super important. In our environment, we have built our entire system on Microsoft Azure Identity Framework. So this gives you the ability to do like really easy self-service password resets. And if you want to level up your security, we give you the ability to add multi-factor authentication to make your environment even more secure. These are some of the things that make PowerGP Online unique. Various people in your organization, or depending on your role, you may have a different view of what is exciting to you about PowerGP Online. For IT pros, for example, our posture towards cybersecurity and backups and disaster recovery just really kind of helps the IT pros sleep well at night. We also make sure that we keep the systems patched and available to your user communities. And IT pros also love that they don't have to do any more GP installs, because I know all the IT guys out there just love the 17-step process of doing a GP client install, and we just kind of make that go away. For accountants, we go through annual compliance audits. We make your upgrades really easy. And, because this is what we do, we make it really easy for you to access your GP anywhere on any device and give you the ability to quickly add new features as GP goes through upgrade cycles and cool new stuff comes out. In our environment, it's really easy for you to get those added and start using them. And for our business leaders, I think what's most important for the business owners and leaders is peace of mind. They know that with Dynamics in the PowerGP Online environment, their data is going to be safe, it's going to be secure, it's going to be redundant and backed up, and you just don't have to worry about the data in your financial system anymore. Now, a few minutes ago, I talked about the PowerGP Power Suite. This is applications that we've created around PowerGP Online that really make it unique. We've got 5 applications in this pool. We've got PowerGP Financials, PowerGP Connect, PowerGP Protect, PowerGP Import, and PowerGP Banking. I'm going to go through each one of these in a little more detail right now, but these are some of the key differences between regular Dynamics GP and PowerGP Online. So I'm going to start with PowerGP Financials. This is one of the newest elements in our suite. In fact, we're releasing it in the second half of 2021. PowerGP Financials is a tool that's embedded into Dynamics GP that allows you to do financial statements. Now, for some of you old timers out there, a lot of times when I say this, people will go, "Oh, do you mean like AFA?" I don't know if you remember Advanced Financial Analysis, which was also built into GP and kind of predates FRX and Management Reporter. And what I would say to that is, if you mean that PowerGP Financials allows you to print financial statements inside of GP, then sure, we're like AFA. But other than that, we're completely different. AFA was really hard to use. It was very time consuming to get your reports to look right. With PowerGP Financials, we've made this really, really simple. It runs in both the desktop and the web client. It's really easy to quickly set up reports. I mean, you can get a new report set up in just a couple of minutes. It's really intuitive and really easy and fast. And do all of the, what accounts show up where on the reports using account categories. And then we borrowed the row and column concepts from FRX and Management Reporter to make it really easy to create new reports. Print the report using the Word Forms feature of Dynamics GP, and we're going to be adding an export to Excel feature shortly after we launch. And that's going to just be really, really cool. This is for any companies that maybe aren't quite sophisticated enough, or you don't want the extra baggage of Management Reporter or FRX. This gives you the real easy financial reporting solutions built into Dynamics GP. It's available in all of our PowerGP editions. It'll be shipping later this year, and it's completely free to you, as are all of the PowerGP Power Suite items. We don't charge anything extra for these. So I don't have a demo for this. This is a weird slide. Brittany kind of laughed at me when I put it in here because it says no demo. So I don't have a demo of this yet, but I do have a couple of screenshots just to give you a sense of how PowerGP Financials works. So this is kind of what it looks like. This is our screen where you come to print a report. What's kind of fun about this, what I really like about it, is that right on the screen, like you don't even necessarily have to print the report. You can just see on the screen, what's my sales, what's my net profit, what are the total of my sales and marketing expenses. And on any one of these items, when you click on it, on the right-hand side, we'll give you a list of all the accounts, and we're using the columns that are part of your column template. In this case, we've got last year to date and current year to date, and you can just see those numbers right on your screen. So if you're just trying to get a quick number, really easy to come into this one screen and get it. If you want to print a report, these reports all funnel through Word Forms, and so you got a really nice presentation, quality looking report with the Word Forms. It's really, really cool. And as I said, export to Excel is coming really soon. That's going to be even cooler. So this is PowerGP Financials, something that is coming to PowerGP Online later this year. PowerGP Protect is our posture towards cybersecurity and disaster recovery. Brittany and I were talking earlier, and she was talking about how over the past year with the pandemic, cyber attacks just kind of went through the roof. I think there was something like a 600% increase in cyber attacks in this last year. And a lot of that was because as rapidly as companies shifted from working in offices to working from home, the surface layer, or the surface area for attacks just got really big. If I want to break into Microsoft, before I had to break into their their data center or their office, but now Microsoft's employees are all working everywhere. So maybe I just need to break into a remote employee's home Wi-Fi. And so it just got so complicated, and we just had a lot more bad actors out there trying to take advantage. PowerGP Online, we like to refer to it as the most secure cloud for Dynamics GP. We take this cybersecurity thing extremely seriously. Things like if any user in our environment, whether the TM group or Njevity, that has admin rights, we require multi-factor authentication. So it's almost impossible for a bad actor to compromise an account with admin rights in our environment because of this requirement. We hire white hat hackers to actually try and break into our environment. This is a yearly activity that we go through so that we can have the good guys try to break in and let us know what our weaknesses are, so we can strengthen them and continue to ensure as threats evolve that we're evolving with them. From a backup and DR standpoint, we are doing daily backups. We are immediately off-siting those backups into a special backup cloud that we use that It's really a unique backup cloud, because not only are those backups off-sited, but that the process of off-siting them allows our backup system to kind of do some ransomware detection on those backups as they're moving to the off-site location. So just gives us a whole nother layer of protection on our backups. And incidentally, we've designed our backup system to be completely separate from our physical Dynamics GP infrastructure. Even if someone was able to get through our walls and get into our production environments, there's absolutely no way for them to traverse into our backup system. So, if somebody ended up getting ransomware, we wouldn't have a ransomware infection across the backups as well, which is, that's kind of what really gets devastating for a lot of these companies, is that, not only are their systems encrypted, but their backups get encrypted too. And we've designed this backup system specifically to prevent that from happening. And we've located our entire data center in a highly secure Iron Mountain environment, so that we have peace of mind not only on our server infrastructure and all of our systems, but also with the location and protection and security of that data center. We also, from a redundancy standpoint, just to help ensure that we can meet our guaranteed uptimes, we don't have anything in our environment that there's only one of. Everything is redundant, from the firewalls and disk subsystems all the way to the remote desktop gateways and front-end servers for GP. This helps ensure that we're able to maintain that reliability that you expect when you move your systems to the cloud. So this is our PowerGP Protect posture towards cybersecurity and disaster recovery. And it's definitely one of the things that distinguishes us. We spent an incredible amount of money to make sure that you can rest easy knowing that you are in the most secure cloud for Dynamics GP. Now, the next item in our Power Suite, one of my personal favorites, I just absolutely love this application, is PowerGP Banking. Now, you might say, well, gosh, why do we need another bank rec tool for GP? Well, because this is the bank rec tool that you've always wanted in GP. This is that feature that QuickBooks users have had forever, where you can just hook up to a bank, download transactions, and match them up against stuff that you've already entered, or create new transactions in your system if you have something that's in your bank that's not in GP. So we have people ask us, hey, I've graduated from QuickBooks, but I don't have this feature anymore. And we say, yeah, it's just that's we've made excuses for 25 years with GP. And with PowerGP Banking, we have delivered the system that GP users have always wanted as far as connecting to the banks. Our PowerGP Banking system works on two areas: bank accounts and credit cards. So with bank accounts, we connect to about 10,000 different financial institutions. We download those transactions. We've built auto match algorithm that will do a lot of the matching between what's in the bank and what's in GP for you. Kind of takes the hard and time consuming part out of it. We've created a way for you to quickly create new bank transactions in PowerGP Online if they don't exist already. And it dramatically cuts reconciliation time. I personally use PowerGP Banking to reconcile Njevity's bank accounts. And I haven't had to use my red pen since November. It's been absolutely fantastic. With credit cards, we're still connecting to that same 10,000 financial institutions. We download the transactions, we give you a really fast way to code those transactions to GL accounts, and then create an AP voucher for that credit card. It's really, really fast, really, really easy. So the next item that we're going to talk about is PowerGP Import. PowerGP Import is a replacement for Integration Manager in a lot of scenarios. We have created 20 some odd different integration points with PowerGP Online. So, GL accounts, GL transactions, customers, vendors, items, price lists. You can see the list here, everything with an asterisk next to it. We also support updates as well as inserts. So if you want to run an update, do a smart list export of customers, change the salesperson, and then re-import it to update the salesperson on your customers. You can do stuff like that with PowerGP Import. I'm going to show you a demo of this now. To show you this, I'm going to show you PowerGP Import in the web client. It works in the desktop client too, but I just thought I'd give you a little different flavor of PowerGP Online. So I'm going to log in as Owen Lars, and it's going to sign me in. Pick my company. So for some of you who've not had a lot of experience with web client, you might be really impressed with how fast the login process is, say, compared to the desktop client. I mean, it is really, really fast to get into the web client. So here I am. I'm going to go to my financial area page, and I want to import some journal entries to kind of show you what this process is like. So if I want to import journal entries, what I love about PowerGP Import is I go to the journal entry window, and on the window, I'll find an import button. Now, if I want to import customers, I'd go to the customer maintenance window. If I wanted to import items, I'd go to the item maintenance window. So we've embedded PowerGP Import literally inside the windows that you would be importing the data to. So I'm going to do a quick lookup here on journal entry, just to make sure I don't have any journals imported, and I'm going to hit the import button. This opens up PowerGP Import, and I can go out and choose a file. So I'm going to choose, I have a spreadsheet out here with journal entries in it. We load the contents of that spreadsheet into this grid here, and you'll see these little green check marks. That means what we've done is we've brought this data in as we've validated it using eConnect against the business rules in Dynamics GP. If you have a problem, maybe you have an account number that's wrong, you can actually click in this grid and make changes to the data right inside this grid. You don't have to go back to the file and re-import it. You can make quick changes here. And when I revalidate, again, we're validating against the GP business logic, and GP knows this account does not exist. So I'm going to have to fix that before I can run the import. We'll revalidate it, get my check mark back, and then I'm going to hit the import button. And we bring these into Dynamics GP using eConnect. So we're using the APIs that Microsoft has provided for us. And let's see. Okay, so here's my first journal, imported with even with my distribution references. Here's my second journal for the payroll entry. Really, really easy to get data in. With PowerGP Import, you can import multiple transactions at a time. You can import multiple batches at the same time as well. So we've really kind of leveled up over copy paste that's built into GP as well. So I want to give you one more example of using PowerGP Import, and for this one, I'm going to import price lists. I know if you use inventory, you have probably had a lot of frustrations with how complicated it is to update price lists in your system when your manufacturers or distributors update their pricing. So we wanted to make this super, super easy. So I'm going to real quick, I'm just going to bring up our green phone, show you what our current price list is. I've got a retail price, and I've got 2 tiers based on quantity breaks for my tier 1. And then I'm going to bring up my 128 SD RAM, kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So now I'm going to hit the import button here on the price list screen. I'm going to go to I've got an item pricing update file here. Now, I'm getting a lot of red X's here. Basically, what this is telling me is, hey, you've already got a price list here. You can't just import it. But if I choose this button that says allow updates and revalidate, now my stop signs turn into caution signs. Now the caution sign is there so you know that we're updating a record. So if you're importing a file that has both new records and updates to existing, we make it very obvious to you visually what we're going to update and what's going to get inserted. I'm going to just hit this import. We got them imported now, and let's bring that green phone back up. And now you can see We've got a lot more retail tiers that came in with our import. And then let's get that SD-RAM back up. I think here on this one, we just kind of changed the prices of the existing tiers. So, really easy to do these price list imports with PowerGP Online and PowerGP Import. All right, so I'm going to flip us back and talk about the next item in our PowerGP Power Suite. PowerGP Connect is the API that we wrote that surrounds Dynamics GP. It is a RESTful JSON-based API. For those of you who are not technical, that just kind of means that it works the way that all the cloud apps out there work, making it really easy to have cloud-to-cloud integrations. The entire PowerGP Connect system is built on top of the eConnect business logic layer. We're just making it really easy to expose that eConnect logic layer to that RESTful JSON style of endpoints. We've also hooked up our PowerGP Connect system to E1 Smart Connect. So, with PowerGP Connect, if you want to create a cloud-to-cloud integration, just using the tool, it's something you'd need a programmer to do, right? It's a developer facing, making two APIs talk to each other. But if you have a tool like Smart Connect that's designed to be in the middle, then all of a sudden you can have a consultant or a power user using the Smart Connect tool to connect the dots between this API and that API of different cloud apps. It's really, really cool. And without a developer, you can actually do some really cool things. And I'm going to show you some of that right now. So I'm going to flip over back to my desktop environment. And I'm going to send GP away for a moment and open up my web browser. So I'm going to, from my browser, we've got a management tool for PowerGP Connect where you manage all the security and the objects that are allowed to be published. So I'm going to come out here to that. I'm going to log in. Now PowerGP Connect knows about my GP companies, so I'm going to pick which company I want to log into and say OK. Over here, I have a list of objects. These are all the objects that we've created for the API for you to be able to use. So if I wanted to just look at what's available, say in the sales area, I can see the different objects that are available, and I can assign security to each of those objects to make sure that only the right people are seeing the data. Now I've got an item here called Get Customers. I'm going to come over here and just copy this link and come over to Excel. And without any programming, this is something you can do on day one when you move into PowerGP Online. I'm going to come up to Excel and I'm going to choose to get data from the web. And I'm going to paste into more demo gremlins. I think Excel is, there we go. I'm going to paste that URL for Get Customers into Excel. And now I've logged into Excel here before, so it already knows my username and password that's cached in the Excel system. But if it didn't recognize me, it would prompt me for credentials before taking me to this next part. So it's connecting up to our API for getting customers and opening this now up in Power Query, which is a part of Excel. Now, because our API is a RESTful JSON endpoint, what we're getting back is more of a list of records. So I just need to hit this little Convert to Table button, say OK, and I'll expand the columns out. And now I have something that looks a lot like a table with GP data in it. And I'm just going to hit Close and Load, bring that data back over into Excel. And now I've got a live Excel report with all my customers in it. If I went in and changed some customer data and came back out and ran this, it would update immediately. It's really fast, really easy. Now, one of the other things that's kind of fun about our API, like I said, we've created 30 to 40 different objects that you can use to connect to create live Excel reports. But maybe there's one that we didn't create. Or maybe the TM group has written a really cool view for you, and you want to use that view in your in PowerGP Connect. We've given you the ability to create new objects and actually extend the entire API. So if you can create a view inside of the GP database, you can publish that view here. So I'm going to create a view. I'm just going to call it My Customers. And let's see, I'm going to put it in the sales category. I'm going to map it to a table, and I'm going to map in our RM00101 table. For you Great Plainsers, you all know this is my customer table. So I'm going to create it, and I'm going to filter this down to just tables. So here's my customer view. Now, before I can connect to it, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I need to assign users to it. Otherwise, you don't have authority to connect. So I'm going to come in here and give Owen Lars access and save it. And now I'm just going to pop back over here to Excel. I'm going to go to data from web. I'm going to paste in this URL. You'll see at the end, it's got the name that I gave it, My Customers. We'll say okay. And so here you'll see how easy it is just to connect to something that's built into GP. And it's the exact same process if you want to connect to a custom view that you've created, or there are a lot of views that Microsoft includes that you could connect to as well. In this case, I'm connecting to a raw table. And so I'm going to convert this Power Query to a table, expand out my columns. If you've ever written a report using the customers, this is probably looking pretty familiar. We're just pulling all the information right into this. And now here we go. I've got that data in Excel as well. Now I've got two spreadsheets here, two sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2. I've got two data sources. What's really kind of fun about this is I come up and choose refresh all. It'll refresh both of them, and look, that fast. Wait, let me do it one more time. Now watch how fast this goes. And we're done. So, that's how fast these live Excel reports can get updated data from PowerGP Online using our API. It's really, really, really cool and easy. All right. The next item I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is this is something we just recently released. And it's a connector between PowerGP Online and PopDoc. Now, I know many of you are familiar with smart lists inside of Dynamics GP. You might be familiar with E1 and their smart list builder, extender, smart connect, the various different apps they've created. PopDoc is an app that was created by E1, and it's really designed to be the next evolution of smart lists. It's really, really cool. Our connector is the only way right now that you can connect to a Dynamics GP system without putting your SQL Server on the internet, which we highly suggest you don't do. Because we have this great API in PowerGP Connect, we were able to create a secure connection between PopDoc and PowerGP Online without putting SQL servers on the internet. It's really, really cool. So it's all built on top of PowerGP Connect and gives you the ability to use a really cool tool like PopDoc. You'll be like the only GP people on the block who are able to use PopDoc if you're in PowerGP Online, because your on-prem GP folks won't be able to. So our connector is available right now. It's available on all editions. And the cost, you have to license PopDoc, and then you need a PowerGP Online platform user or greater, so you can connect to PowerGP Connect and get the data. And with that, I'm going to show you a quick demo of how easy this is. So let me find the window I want to share with you. All right. So here I am. You should see my browser. I'm logged into PopDoc, popdoc.com. And now PopDoc is kind of, like I said, it's kind of like smart lists on steroids, where you can think of these tabs as your smart list favorites. So I come into accounts, and our little cloud friend jumping rope is gonna go get our data for us. Although it usually happens a lot faster than this. There we go. And then, I can do fun things here, like, I can group by a certain column. If I'm looking at a list that has, here, I'll come over to OpenAP, for example. On our OpenAP, I might want to, do a group by vendor name, and, maybe I don't want the vendor ID column here, so I can just say, you know what, let's take vendor ID and vendor name off. Really easy to play around with columns. If maybe I want to take this document amount and change it to account, so I get a number of documents and a total. This is stuff you can't do in Smart Lists, right? And in fact, I'm even getting to see right here my total per vendor. It's really, really cool. I'm going to expand all of these so you can see all of the information there. And then I can download this to Excel if I want. I just hit a button. Now, some of you have big lists and smart lists that you export to Excel, and you have to watch the little bar move across as the data goes out to Excel. With PopDoc, these Excel spreadsheets are built almost immediately. And see, this guy opened. I'll have to share this with you so you can see it. So here's my spreadsheet that just downloaded and opened. With the web technology today, we're able to do this stuff really fast. So it really kind of levels up your smart list game. All right, let me get back into my PopDoc screen here. So I want to come over here to add a new connector. What is that experience like? So I'll choose connectors and then add a connector. When I search inside of the PopDoc system for PowerGP, we show up, we're right there. We just click on us. You enter your tenant ID and your company ID, my username, I spell it right, and then I will choose validate. Now at this point, it's going to go out and make sure that these credentials work, that I type my password in right, and then once it's validated, it'll ask me to connect. I hit the connecting button, and now it's going to start making that connection happen. It takes a few minutes to load, but you can kind of see the status here of what it's doing. We've got 42 lists that automatically show up inside of PopDoc. Now I'm going to let that one. It's kind of like a baking show. I'm going to put that connector in the oven and pull out a fully baked cake here that I've already. I've got a connector that is already live, and we can play with. In fact, that's what we were playing with here with some of these things. One of the things I wanted to show you here in PopDoc that's really cool is let's say I'm going to add a new tab, and I can search for different lists. You can also say, find by connector, and say, we got to pick a company. Let's say I want to look at sales, and then I can get, here are all my sales lists. So a couple of different ways that you can search through the lists that are available in your connector. Here I just pulled in a list of all my customers. Now, one of the things that's really cool also about this is it knows about your companies. So I can actually just hit select all here, and I'm going to get customers from both of my company databases. So here you can see there's a customer from Cobb Vant, and there's a customer from Tattoo and Moisture Supply. Really, really easy. Like I said, this is kind of leveling up your whole smart list deal. So I've got my customer tab over here, and I'm going to add a couple of columns to it. So to do that, I'm going to click the columns button, and super easy. I want to add first invoice date, so I'll search for it, select it, and add. And just like that, I've added a new column. I also want to add the customer note. So I'm going to click that one and add it as well. Now, what's kind of cool about this, like just built into our connector, if you use those notes in GP, we actually make it really easy to surface up those notes. And you don't have to do table joins and all that stuff that you'd have to do if you were trying to get this data another way. We've built that stuff into all of our objects. If I want to sort on first invoice day, I can just click on that field and do it. Sort it the other way, just like you'd expect. Super easy. And one of the things I want to do, notice I've got this balance due column. Maybe I want to put a filter on it. So I'm going to click the filter button, and I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? I only want to see customers where the balance due is greater than $50,000. We'll save that, and now we'll only have customers in that range. And you'll notice my total is updated as well to show me just the totals for this this group. Maybe I want to look for just Aaron Fitz. I can even do a search here. If I type in the word fit, it finds Aaron Fitz just based on that. And just again, super easy, super cool little tool. Once I get this kind of the way I want, I can save it as a favorite. And I'll just call it TM Groups Customers and save it. And I'll get a new tab up here with that name on it. Anytime I want to look at that favorite, I can just click the tab, just like that. So this is an example, a real life example of how we're using PowerGP Connect to allow you to connect your PowerGP data that's in our cloud with applications that are in other clouds. And this is really a pretty simple process to go through to make all this work. And now it's all available for you for free, which is pretty cool. All right, so wrapping up here, make sure you've got the right screen. All right. I hope that you can see as we've gone through this, we talked about how PowerGP Online is the smart path for the cloud. What we really want to land here with you as we start to wrap up is that PowerGP Online is a modern, authentic, and secure cloud experience for you. With the RESTful APIs that we've created, with the applications we've added like PowerGP Banking, we've really tried to distinguish PowerGP Online. This isn't just Dynamics GP hosted in the cloud. It's PowerGP Online, and it is unique and different and awesome. So about this time, you're probably wondering, gosh, I wonder what it costs. So we've got a couple of different editions that we have with PowerGP Online. Our entry point is $99 per user per month. And you can see here on the slide what all includes. You can also get all of this information on our website at powergponline.com. Our standard edition kind of levels up off of basic. Basic just includes financials. Standard adds in all the distribution components of GP. Both basic and standard are web client only. That's why we're able to offer them at those price points. If you want a remote desktop experience, our premium edition is where the remote desktop experience starts, and it's $249 per user. Now, we also have less expensive users. These are the full users. They're the most expensive users we have. We have much lower priced users that limited users, self-service users as well. Premium Plus is everything that Premium has, but it adds the GP extended pack. So you get advanced distribution, manufacturing, field service, and project accounting. If you're not using those things, then Premium is probably the way you would go. Although most of you have probably already paid for your GP licenses and don't want to pay for them again by moving to a subscription model. Although, if you are on an older GP pricing model or you've let your maintenance lapse, moving to a subscription option can actually be a really good value for you. But if you've bought your licenses and you're current on maintenance, you can use our BYOL edition. That's called Bring Your Own License. So bring your own license of GP into our cloud for $159 or less per user, and you still get all of our PowerGP Power Suite And then, all the ISVs and the GP functionality that you bring with you into the environment. We've bundled some popular ISV solutions into our SKUs as well. So if you move to one of our subscription editions, you'll get Rockton Smart Fill, you get a GPUG membership, and Notice credit card CCA, all built into the products. If you're on Premium or Premium Plus, you also get Rockton Toolbox. And then you can add additional ISVs in on Premium and Premium Plus. On BYOL, it's bring your own license. So we don't bundle the ISVs other than Jet Basics in there for you, because you don't need them. You're bringing your own license. We offer both those, as you saw today, web client and remote desktop experiences. They're if you buy one of our, like if you come in on the BYOL edition and you have remote desktop access, if you want to add web client to just play with it, we will add it for you for free. You want to maybe shift a couple of your users from desktop users to web client users, because web client users are a little cheaper. You can do that as well. We don't charge you to turn on web client for you. We just turn it on if you want it, if you ask for it. We've created a lot of really cool stuff for GP. We're hard at work right now on version 2 of PowerGP Banking, which is going to just add a lot more capabilities to it. We've also got some other big things that we're working on that we can't talk about yet, but rest assured, if you are on Dynamics GP and you come into the PowerGP cloud, not only are you going to get a world-class cloud experience, but we're also going to be delivering really cool additional functionality to you that we don't charge for. It's all free as a benefit of being in our cloud. So, Ali, I know that I left a whole 3 minutes for Q&A. Do we have any questions so far?
Yes, we have one. It is for Connect, and it is, can you join different tables in Connect?
You can't join different tables in Connect, but you could connect 2 tables using Connect into Power Query and Excel. And once you have those 2 tables or views in Power Query and Excel, you can join them there. You can also do joins in PopDoc between different tables or views. And of course, if you or your TM group consultant wants to write a SQL view to join tables together, you can do that as well. And you might have seen, like when I was showing in PopDoc the customer note, the view that we're using there inside of PowerGP Connect has 5 or 6 different tables joined to it. So when we show first invoice date, when we show customer notes, like all that stuff is coming from different tables. We've also joined the email tables in, so you can see email addresses for customers. So yeah, you can absolutely get that data out. You just don't do the joining tables inside of the Connect system. I hope that helps, Joe.
Those were all the questions. So thank you so much, Chris and Brittany, for presenting today. And if anyone comes up with any further questions, just email me, and I can always refer that over to Chris and ask him. So I hope everyone enjoyed this webinar, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.